Washington, Mark Zuckerberg's original motto for Facebook was "Move fast and break things." It now appears that he's going to have to answer for moving too fast and breaking too many things. After years of trying to avoid oversight from Washington, the 2 billion person social network platform is set for a reckoning. Facebook is approaching its first major congressional oversight hearings in November after it revealed that a Russian troll factory, called the Internet Research Agency, purchased advertisements in order to influence the 2016 election. The ensuing controversy has not only raised questions about the lack of transparency for political advertising spending on the Internet but also opened the eyes of many in Washington and around the country to the massive data collection that underlies the profitability of the company. At the same time, an increasingly influential group of trustbusters is questioning whether a democracy should have monopolistic enterprises like Facebook at all. Ever since the boom of online commercial activity in the 1990s, Silicon Valley has fought to avoid any kind of regulation, taxation or oversight from any government, state, local or federal. Facebook is currently trying to fight off any federal oversight. The company has hired 2 crisis PR firms and registered 2 new lobbying firms this year. Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg appeared at official events in Washington this week and gave an exclusive interview to Axios' Mike Allen. But what would regulation for Facebook even look like? We asked the experts. Determining how to regulate Facebook may first require some kind of definition of what it is. Reporter Max Reed posed this very question in New York Magazine earlier this month. What do you call a website that allows you to share baby pictures with former high school classmates and also receive targeted advertising with the most fine-grained precision possible? Facebook brags about connecting us to our family and friends, and also about directly influencing the outcomes of elections across the globe. It sits on top of industries including journalism, where it, together with Google, essentially controls the distribution channels for online news and, in effect, the way people discover information about politics, government and society. Facebook, Reed argues, is like a 4-dimensional object that we catch slices of when it passes through the 3-dimensional world we recognize. It's really hard to get a handle on it. Listen to Paul Blumenthal talk about Facebook on HuffPost So That Happened podcast at the 1,600-minute mark below. The president seems really sad. 3945 The best way to figure out exactly what Facebook is and does is to launch a public investigation, argues Matt Stoller, a fellow at the Open Markets Institute, a think tank that supports tougher antitrust enforcement. We need a select congressional committee to just look at Facebook and figure out all the things it does, Stoller said. Such a committee could examine its ownership of multiple social networks. Facebook owns Instagram and tried to purchase Snapchat. An investigation could look at the company's use of virtual private networks VPNs to gauge what apps are popular, identifying good takeover targets. Or it could check its massive advertising business and how it is used to influence elections or to target retail ads at users immediately after they look at a product on another site. A committee could determine how such a large corporate enterprise works and examine how this affects populations, suss out anti-competitive behavior, examine and remedy invasions of people's privacy, and find out if it is undermining human autonomy. While activists like Stoller push for a dedicated committee to investigate Facebook, the federal bureaucracy and some members of Congress are working on fixing the problem of untraceable political advertising. Senators Mark Warner, Democrat Virginia, and Amy Klobuchar, Democrat Minnesota, are drafting legislation to require large online platforms like Facebook, YouTube owned by Google, Instagram and Snapchat to maintain public databases of all political advertising, including ad buyer and targeting information. The Federal Election Commission reopened its consideration of disclosure requirements for online election advertising and is currently seeking public comment. Stoller says that Facebook should go further by informing each user who is specifically targeted by advertisements purchased by the Internet Research Agency. Yochai Benkler, the Berkman Professor of Entrepreneurial Legal Studies at Harvard Law School, suggested another change: lawmakers could pass a bill to require social networks to identify bots, automated accounts and sock puppets, fake accounts run by real people, to detail their role in spreading political advocacy advertising. No legislation has been discussed to tackle the problem of social media bots spreading paid propaganda. Aside from the political advertising,